Hello and greetings from UB. On behalf of the Office of Alumni Engagement and the UB School of Management, we are delighted you are able to join us for today's webinar presentation. My name is Christy Fields, and I serve as the Senior Director of Alumni Lifelong Engagement here at UB. And I'm also joined by my wonderful colleague, Joy Rona, who will assist in answering any questions. We are both so grateful you are with us today for this educational opportunity. With that said, we are excited to welcome today's featured presenter, UB alumnus Dr. Dinesh Gowri. Dr. Gowri is a professor of marketing and Melvin H. Baker Endowed Professor of Marketing and Director of Center for Marketing Analysis at the UB School of Management. Previously, he was a faculty member at Sam M. Walton College of Business at University of Arkansas and Syracuse University. He has also been a visiting scholar at Dartmouth College, Cornell University, and Indian School of Business. He earned his integrated Master in Science degree in Mathematics and Computers from Indian Institute of Technology. And he earned an MA in Economics and PhD in Marketing from the University of Buffalo. Dr. Gowri's research and teaching interests are in the areas of retailing, shopper marketing, pricing, branding, analytics, e-commerce, new venture development, and revenue management. He has advised or consulted for various companies in the above areas, and he is a recognized thought leader in retailing. He was ranked third in the world in Retailing Journal Influence Index from 2009 to 2015. His research has been published in various journals in the areas of marketing, retailing, information systems, public policy, hospitality, and management. He has co-edited various special issues for Journal of Business Research and Journal of Retailing. And he's also chaired the Retailing Thought Leadership Conference held in October 2019 at the Walton College campus in Fayetteville. Dr. Gowri has taught in the undergraduate, graduate, and executive programs. He endeavors to bridge the gap between practice and research. He strives towards engaging with the practitioners and has interacted with and consulted for senior executives of many corporations. He has also presented his research and given executive seminars at various universities and organizations. Today's session will go through the current challenges being faced by retailers and shoppers and how both are navigating various headwinds as they shop offline and online. We will leave time during today's webinar for Q&A, so if you have any questions during the presentation, please submit them using that Q&A icon on your Zoom taskbar and send those to us at any time. In addition, we'll be recording today's session and we'll send you all a copy within the next 24 hours. And now it is my pleasure to turn it over to our featured presenter, proud UB alumnus and faculty member, Dr. Dinesh Gowri. Welcome, Dr. Gowri.
Thank you, Christy, and thank you, Joy, and welcome everybody. Good afternoon or good evening or good night, maybe at some places where you are joining from. So as Christy mentioned, I'm going to talk a little bit about retailing and omni-channel commerce in my presentation, some of the current issues and the work that I've been involved in. And then towards the end, we'll leave some time for questions. Now, Christy mentioned this already, but just to go over a little bit quickly, so I did my bachelor's in mathematics and computers, and then I did my master's in economics and PhD in marketing. So some of you might be thinking, like, what's going on? So this guy has computer science, mathematics, economics, marketing, everything in there. And I consider myself very lucky that I was able to get this kind of an education where, different types of fields, different theories, different ways to approach problems I could understand. And then many decades later now, it all makes sense to me. And as you and I all know that AI, computer science, machine learning, these type of things are getting widespread applicability and use in different settings, and retail is certainly no exception to it. On the right side of the screen, you will see some of the companies that I have interacted with. I've known people there. I've been an alumnus of UB School of Management a while back. At some point when I left, I never thought I would come back. But as you say that, as you know that never say never. So here I am back after maybe a couple of decades or so, and uh, like it all started here for me as a journey into the marketing as well as economics world in the United States. Now, retail, like I think I just thought I'll set it up a little bit. So it comes from a French word retailer, and it means to drive up and sell in small amounts across multiple locations. I'm not going to read everything out here. You can probably just read through a few things in the slides. On the right side of the screen, you will see a picture of a store, which was the first retail store like a supermarket in the country here in the United States. And I don't know if anybody can guess it, but it is Piggly Wiggly. It was based out of Memphis, Tennessee. So I visited them, like Tennessee and Memphis, one of my friends, and I saw this Pink Palace there. So there I saw this book which had this picture about like what Piggly Wiggly was, and then they had multiple screenshots of how it used to look like. So in 1916, there was a guy called Clarence Saunders. So he created this chain of stores, Piggly Wiggly. And on the left, you will see, I took it from that booklet there, that the first day it opened, the average sale was around 96 cents and few dollars were exceeding like $10 or so. And about 487 customers visited the store on the first day it opened. Now, it also says that Saunders abolished the previous retail system in which grocers used to basically get telephone orders and delivered groceries or filled orders while customers waited in the store. So as you can imagine, today we are in 2025. It's more than 100 years now, but the whole wheel has turned like a full circle. So now we order online, we go drive up, and then somebody puts our groceries and general merchandise stuff in our car, or we get them delivered at our home. So a lot of things have changed. So this is the picture of the Pink Palace, which I mentioned, and he could not finish it because there was a New York Stock Exchange crash at that time, and then he was forced into bankruptcy, and then the government has to had to take over and then spend a considerable money, and now it is like a museum or so which anybody can visit there. Now, retail impacts everyone, everywhere, every day. So I saw this slide like a few years ago at NRF's website, and I like this graphic very much. So the numbers must be slightly older here, so don't go by the numbers. But I like the fact that they had all the states of the country and retail impacting everyone, everywhere, every day, because we all are shoppers first, and then we are certainly consumers, and then we think about retail, and many of us work. So about 1 in 4 jobs in the United States are also affiliated with retail one way or the other. So retail supports certainly 20% of job in all the states. So most recently, you can see some of the numbers here that the total impact on GDP is about $5.3 trillion or so, which is about like 18% or so of the total US GDP, and about 32 plus million in the direct retail employment, which is supported. Now, this is a New York State statistics that retail trade, including food services and drinking, they are the second highest employer of jobs in the New York State, which is true for many other states also. Like after healthcare, retail comes next, and then there is educational services and other things which are there. Now, despite a lot of like uncertainty in the economy in the last few months, and certainly it's carrying over also right now in some way, but NRF forecasts that there will be around like $5.42 trillion worth of sale, which was what they were expecting. So, which is amount to about 2.7 to 3.7% growth forecast for this year. Now you see in the middle of this chart here into 2020, 2021, 22, these were the 3 years when the retail had a really good year. And certainly like retail was one of the industry which helped us essentially get out or sail through the pandemic. Otherwise, things were pretty tough for many other businesses out there. Now here you can see that like how the retail has evolved over the period of a few decades now. So earlier there used to be corner stores, general stores, then came supermarkets in the 1920s, 30s, then came discount chains like Walmart's, and then came wholesale clubs, Sam's Club, Costco, and all in 70s, 80s. So similarly in the department store category, there used to be bigger department stores before, then shopping malls, then superstores, and certainly when Amazon launched their .com website selling books and CDs, that was essentially like the start of this new revolution that we see these days. Different companies founded by various decades. Some of them are still alive. Some of them have sort of closed and struggled and gone bankrupt. But you will see many of the companies are still standing. Like in 1900s, for example, Nordstrom, Walgreens, Neiman Marcus, J.C. Penney, they all started. Neiman is, I think, bankrupt now. Penny is struggling, but is certainly around. Walgreens is around. Nordstrom is also around, but kind of struggling a bit. Then I don't want to go through these. I think from the symbols and all, you can recognize these companies. Now in 2000, there were this kind of a lot of focus on e-commerce. So there are different companies which were directly selling to the consumers. Warby Parker, Everlane, Bonobos was an interesting concept where you can go to the store, but you will not be able to buy anything. It was a smaller footprint, but you will be able to see some items like clothing items there, one of each, and then order there, and it will come to your home. Walmart acquired them, but then has closed shop a few years ago. Now, e-commerce as a percentage of retail sales, it's around like 16.2% as of first quarter 2025. It's certainly growing, as you can see, over the last few years or so. There was a considerable blip in the scene for e-commerce when COVID struck, but then it had fallen down. So you can, if you flip these numbers, you can expect to see that about 80 to 84% of sales are still influenced by the physical store or a physical box in some way or the other. So which is kind of phenomenal too, that we think that the stores are irrelevant, but that's not the case because more than 80% of the sales still come from the physical store. So this is something which I have been doing for a while now. So these are the major retail companies around on the left-hand side in your screen. So I look at their market value in 2006, which was pre-recession, like 2007 to 9 period was the recessionary time. And then I had the market value pre-COVID. And then a few weeks ago, I had their market value again taken. So you can see a lot of these companies like iconic brands, Best Buy, Kohl's, Macy's, Nordstrom, they are struggling. Even Target, for that matter, which many of us know has not focused much on groceries, whereas Walmart a few years ago went big time into grocery, and their paths have diverged ever since. So in the last few years, Target has also lagging behind the competitors. Now you see the three retailers which are in the black are Costco. So Costco's market value in 2019 was about 400% more as compared to 2006, and in 2025 it was more than 200%, 236% more than in 2019, which is pre-COVID. Now, certainly Amazon is the odd one out here. So they had a phenomenal growth in a couple of decades that we have seen here now. But the growth has slowed down a little bit, and Walmart certainly has caught up quite a bit. But what is interesting here is you can see that companies like Kohl's and Macy's, they have struggled quite a bit, and they are only valued now in terms of market cap just a few $1 billion or so, whereas they were quite a bit in 2006. Now, certainly a lot of mergers, acquisitions have happened in the retail industry, CPG space over the last few years. This is just some representation of a few of these handful of deals, but many of the bigger companies have acquired other companies, combined together, and then scaled up as well. Now, top 10 e-commerce sites, uh, like Amazon is certainly the one. So about 50 to 55% of the total retail revenue in the country is still coming from Amazon. Then followed by eBay, Walmart, Etsy, Target. So these are some companies which are like the top .com traffic drivers in the e-commerce space. And on the left side, you can see that the retail e-commerce sales worldwide, and certainly it is increasing in the last few years or so. But the growth of that change is trying to now stabilize a little bit. It's still very good numbers, like 8%, 9% increase year on year, which is quite a bit. But it's not like 20, 30%, which we saw in the COVID times. Now, Deloitte comes up with this Global Powers of Retailing report almost every year for the last few years or so. So this is a graphic that I took from there, the most recent report. Now you can see here, like in 20, so the recent report is 2025, but it looks at the numbers from 2022 and 2023. So 2022 was a phenomenal year for many of the retail companies. So you can see the growth rate was really high, like 8% or so. But then in 2023, with inflation and things stabilizing, that rate has slowed down a bit to what has been usually expected to around 3 to 4% or so. Now, what's interesting is the percentage of retailers with foreign operations. So about 64% of retailers have some foreign presence or the other, and about 25% of their revenue is coming from those foreign operations. So having location in multiple countries is important for the growth of many of these bigger retailers. Now, some of them certainly don't have any foreign presence, like Target is one of them. They tried Canada for a while, but then it didn't work out. So they are, I think, one of the major retailers which don't have any presence outside the US and a few others. But most other companies have some presence outside the US as well. Now, year-on-year growth and profitability, I wanted to show you this chart because, as I've been saying before, and you must have realized it in your own experience, that 21, 22, these companies saw like 8%, 9% growth, but that was not usual. Like 4 to 5% was typical growth that they used to have. And in the last year, it has fallen down to those levels, and the expectation is in the last couple of years, 24 and 25 it will be again like 2 to 3% or higher threes, if not more. Now, the top 10 companies in the retail setting, it's also interesting, as you can see on the left side is 2001. These were the top 10 companies. Walmart was certainly number one, and in 2023 also, Walmart was number one. Then certainly Amazon has seen a lot of growth now in the last few decades, and it's almost now the total revenue of Amazon and total revenue of Walmart are neck and neck. So in the next maybe year or two, it's expected that Amazon will become the largest company in the world. But the only three companies are common here, which were there in 2001 and 2023. One is Walmart, then another is Home Depot, and the third one is Kroger. Now, Kroger, certainly, I think many of you who are in the US would have shopped in one of their locations or other banners that they own also. So Kroger was trying to acquire Albertson. I think it didn't go through, and they have grown also by merging and acquiring various other companies in the last few decades. But they have managed to be in the top 10 in these two like decades apart years. Other companies like Aldi, Costco, Walgreens, CVS, they are also doing well, sort of. They have their struggles, like Walgreens and CVS have quite a few things going on these days. So let's see whether they will be in the top 10 in the next few years or so. Now, as a part of the Center for Marketing Analysis, and I'm going to talk about the center activities a little bit also towards the end, but I wanted to share some um, results, key results of a survey that I have done, and then based on that survey, the center puts out a couple of reports, and if you guys want, you can go to the Center of Marketing Analysis website and then download those reports. But last year, we sent out a survey to study some of the shopping habits of the US shoppers, and these are some basic statistics based on that. So as you can see here, like most people spend about $250 or less on general merchandise on a weekly basis, and people spend about like 350 or less, most of them like on groceries. Now there are quite a few which spend more than that, like 350 to 500 on groceries, and certainly things have gotten quite expensive also in the last few years, so it's reflecting the inflation as well. By income, this is a distribution by income of the sample that we have of nearly 2,000 people. So it's across various income ranges and by gender. So we had about 45 to 54%, like 20% people in the 45 to 54% range, and then 33% were in the 55 to 64, and 17% were 65 plus. Now, I asked them like a bunch of questions. I'm just going to preview a few of the results here. So we asked people like, how many subscription services are you really subscribing to these days? And only 16% said that they are not subscribing to anything like in the retail setting on a regular basis, right? Where you pay yearly a certain fees or a monthly fees, and then you are a part of some retail subscription services. But then about 24% had one, and about 42% had two to three retail subscription that they have subscribed to. So things like Sam's Club or Costco or BJ's and some other like delivery service that they would have subscribed to in the last few years. Walmart Plus has gotten quite popular as a subscription service, and then certainly Amazon is also a retail subscription service. So we asked people on a bunch of questions about what is influencing them to make purchases, and within those questions, we had focused on some new technologies and services too. So, and some of these things are powered by AI nowadays. So I'm identifying just a few of those which had an AI influence. So things like smart shopping carts. So you would have seen it in your experience in some bigger cities, these smart shopping carts being used in some grocery stores. Then certainly contactless checkout. So either Apple Pay, Walmart Pay, or some other way to check out without like causing too much friction at the checkout. Uh, Amazon's just walkout technology is certainly one of the contactless checkout ways. Music mirrors or magic mirrors or memory mirrors. So they have been around a few years, but I think now they are getting to the point where some of these major retailers are putting them in their department stores type of places where you can virtually try on various stuff without having to like go to the fitting room and keep changing different dresses. So there are different apps, virtual fitting room apps, which are out there. Like Nike has a good one, and IKEA has an app like that. Home Depot and Lowe's have things like that also. Planning shopping with AI, so people are creating lists and trying to plan what they can buy using some AI assistant or the other. So I'm not going through the rest. Maybe you can And you can see many of these other things are traditionally popular things like coupons or real-time mobile deals or automatic self-scanners and digital displays, which are traditionally like influencing people to shop more. Now, here, like we wanted to look at whether people who had Walmart Plus subscription and Amazon Prime subscription compared to non-subscribers, how are they considering like the influence by AI technology? So you can see these blue bars are mostly ahead of the orange and then the grayish bars. So which makes sense too, because Walmart is essentially like a in-store experience. So those shoppers are more likely to be using or being influenced by these other newer technologies as compared to Amazon shoppers, which is already like in an online setting where they don't have many physical stores. Now, parents, especially those with young children, were more likely to say that they want to use AI to create shopping lists. So these are the first one is shoppers without children, then shoppers with children, and then this one, the last one is shoppers with more than one child under the age of 5. So about 34% people strongly agreed with using AI to create shopping list, and 21% agreed. So about 65% or so said that they are going to use AI to create shopping lists. Now, when we talk about AI, then I think many of us don't think about the privacy issues, but certainly it's there on top of mind of a considerable number of people. And as you can see, like certainly a decent number is also concerned about like how their privacy would be handled with the increasing use of these AI assistants these days. Some are concerned more than the others, but certainly there is a lot more people who are concerned than the one which are not concerned. Now, as you can expect, what's the top choice for general merchandise? Walmart, about 53% of people had that top choice, followed by Target. And then in the online setting, Amazon was certainly the leader with 61%, and then Walmart was next with 14, and Target was 4. Now, in the case of groceries, Walmart certainly has an edge here. So 33% preferred Walmart in store, and then Kroger was 14%, and Aldi, Publix, and Costco. And for online, so Walmart certainly again was ahead, and that's where I think I was saying earlier that that's where the fortunes between Target and Walmart get diverged because Walmart put a lot more focus on groceries as compared to Target in the last few years. Um, Now, I wanted to take some time to just uh, talk a little bit about. Um, the consumer sentiment these days and some of the things around tariffs. So I have a few good friends at Bain Consulting, and they shared me some of these reports and charts, which I am going to show you in the next few slides. So it's certainly an ongoing work. There is a lot which is changing in the tariff space in the last few months or so. So every time they make some chart or something, they're looking at data from the past few months, and then other things change in the present scenario. So that they need to continuously keep on updating this stuff. So this might be a few weeks old now. So I'm not going to go through, but then as you know that different types of tariffs and different amounts of tariffs were imposed on different countries. Then there was a stay for a while, and then again in the last few weeks, like they have been implemented. So China initially it was supposed to be around 145% or so, but actually it came down to around like 25, 28% or so that were imposed. Now, India, I know like it was supposed to be 26, but then I think it has increased to a level of about 50% or so uh, as of few days ago. So depending on like the items, there are certainly some exemptions which are there in the list. But broadly, like too many companies which are doing some business with many of these companies producing stuff, or they are sending their stuff outside, they are getting um, impacted by the amount of tariffs. Now, Bain people, they asked people, consumers, US consumers, a few months ago in June of this year, about 1,000 people or so, about like what are some of the issues that are of impact to them or they're concerned about. So inflation was the number one issue which people were concerned about. Then it was followed by illegal immigration, which had moved into the number two spots. Number two spot, it was not that high before, and then tariffs was the third one. So these are the three main issues. There's a long list of other things which you can see on the slides, like healthcare, financial stability, political system, gun violence, and so on and so forth. But the top three are inflation, immigration, and uh, tariffs. Now, so while tariff concerns eased a little bit because there was a period where it was announced that there will be some kind of a delay in imposing them, but still about 59% of US consumers in June were concerned about the overall impact on prices due to the tariffs. So 59% are expecting, or they thought to expect about the significant increase will happen in the prices of goods. Now, which are the types of goods which people are thinking will be impacted the most? So vehicles and vehicle parts, about 78% respondents thought that certainly their prices will go up. Electronics, 76%, clothes and shoes, 74%, 73% for food, and then 66% for home appliances, and so on and so forth. So you can see that like many people are certainly thinking that they will be paying more, they are paying more as a result of the tariffs. Now in services space, US consumers are mostly concerned about increases at restaurants and for airline travel. So 66% people think or have faced like increases in prices at the restaurant space in the last few months, and then airlines certainly like 49%, and then the rest you can see like transport, cruises. So many other categories are also expected to be high priced, or the price is expected to increase by the companies which are operating them. So the US consumer is certainly like aware of it and thinking that the prices will go up. Now, as a result of this, the percentage of respondents which said they are going to reduce their spend has also increased. So from April of 80% to about 84% people uh, said that in the survey that they have reduced their spending. So which is a quite a bit of a concern because now we are going into almost like end of third quarter, and then the fourth quarter is going to start in October, which is the most critical time for many retailers. So going in with the expectation that many US consumers are thinking of reducing their spending is probably not going to be very good for the economy, but we'll see how it goes. Now, restaurants, cafes, groceries, clothing. So these are some of the things, takeouts, delivery, vacations, out of home entertainment, where people have expressed their desire that they are reducing their spending. So certainly we are going to see a little bit of a change in the spending as well as the revenues that many companies are expected to make in these categories. And we will also see some type of consolidation where there will be mergers and acquisitions also you might see might be happening. Now, I want to spend a little bit more time, so we are coming up around like 12, 36 or so, but I wanted to spend a little time to just go over some of the Center for Marketing Analysis mission as well as our thought process behind what we are thinking of doing. So our mission is to advance the disciplinary core of marketing science through research and collaboration with companies to develop marketing solutions and to provide some good innovative learning experiences for our students. So this is where I think I will need your help if any one of you is interested in collaborating with us in some way for some research projects, um, uh, white papers, demos. So please reach out in from one of us. I'll introduce you a few other people who are a part of the center in a little bit. So we want to offer marketing science training and education. There will be student-run consulting projects, marketing science research and tools, and certainly like all of this will be done through collaboration with the industry and through the likes of people like yourself. So besides me, we have a few other people who are affiliated with the center. We have John Hennessy, who has recently joined us from industry. He has had experiences in various companies like IRI, Cantor, Alert Innovation, which was a robotics company acquired by Walmart recently. Then we have Professor Kim Saxton, who is managing the behavioral lab, and I'm going to talk a little bit about the lab also in a little bit. And then we have Professor Sherry and Professor Rito, who are quantitative oriented professors who are working with various companies and different practical problems involving various students also as a part of the center. We do have an advisory board, some of the companies which are helping us to create the vision and realize the mission of the center. There are companies, there are data provider companies, consulting companies like Circana, dunnhumby, and SAS. There are retail companies like Delaware North, Northeast Grocery, which owns different banners now after merging with Price Chopper. So they have Tops, Price Chopper, and Market 35. And then we have Richest Food, and Buffalo Games is a Buffalo-based games and puzzle company. So we have these companies on the board. There are different research projects that we are working with these companies in collaboration with them as well as the students. A few months ago, we did organize a conference on retail marketing in a high-tech world. So we had speakers from various companies, including Mr. John Persons, who's an alum and CEO of Northeast Grocery. There were folks from different companies like Bain and Company, uh, James Sinclair. We had different academics, Professor Jeff Inman from University of Pittsburgh. We had panel discussions on various topics. I've listed a few of them here. What's the state of artificial intelligence and machine learning in retail, social media, commerce marketing, and retail media, and then also the importance of personalization and experiential retail, and many other academic presentations as well. So this is something we want to do on an yearly basis. So you can, if you have attended in the past, that was great to have you here. If not, then please be on the lookout and watch out for the dates for the next year as well. As I also mentioned earlier in the conversation, that based on the survey that I did, I wrote a few articles, so they are available on the website. One of the topics was subscribing to the hype, AI in retail, and the other one was on war for wallets, the retail battlefield of clicks and bricks, where we focused on in-store and online and hybrid channels. We have recently established a behavioral research lab also in the School of Management. Many of you might be aware of it. A few of you may have participated in it as well. So here we want to go deeper into like what's influencing the the shopper or consumer to buy various products or to browse various websites. So we'll go through some of the attention um, uh, checks, and we'll get some measures on how attentive people are while they are browsing various products and websites. What's the emotions that they are going through, and how we can capture that. So we have done some website testing, different alternate versions of print ads. We have done some like packaging, alternate packaging testing tests there. We can do various other things like signage and menus and calls to actions. So these are some of the use cases that we can quickly run through the lab. So either the students can be involved in it, or we have also a way to basically recruit some other like real consumers and then go them through the lab process and then get the results also. What do we measure? So we have some eye tracking measures that we track off. So we want to see where people are paying attention or pinpointing and how long they're likely to focus. We also measure their facial expressions here. We also measure some skin conductance or galvanic skin response, as it is called. And then we have the ability to also do some voice analysis and measure some of the emotions and stress levels, which could be embedded in somebody's tone when they are speaking and talking. So we can do things like heat map testing, like different versions of products which are out there, where people are looking, what is getting their attention the most, and if there are any keywords and things which are getting more attention, then are there ways like to design the campaign or design the websites differently as compared to a different version. So these are some of the things that we are doing through the center. So these are a couple of contact information that I have for myself as well as John. So John is the executive director for Center for Marketing Analysis. So if you want to know more and get involved with the center, then please do contact either me or John. So I think we have some time for questions. So Christy, we can take some questions if anybody else and has anything.
Outstanding. Thank you so much, Dr. Gowrie. Really appreciative of you taking the time to speak with us today and share your expertise on this. And I do have some questions coming in, so I'm going to pull up the Q&A. And for those who might have additional questions, feel free to submit them in the Q&A right on your Zoom taskbar. Use that icon there. So we are going to go to the questions. I'm going to pull that up. All right, Dr. Gallery. So this question just kind of in follow-up to your presentation from the perspective of the consumer. So in the current market, what would you suggest might be the best time for those big purchases, whether it's a house, auto, furniture? Is it best to wait for an economic shift?
Yeah, I personally grappled with that like a few months ago, when I was considering looking for some houses, and I think the expectation was there might be some slowdown in the economy due to the high prices, certainly in the last few years or so. But what I realized is that it's not happening, or it is not I think wise to wait for that to happen. So every 8 to 10 years, there are some recessionary or slowdown things which happen in the economy where things get corrected a little bit. So I think we are overdue for some type of a slowdown. But since there's a lot going on and prices certainly have increased in the last few years and they don't show any signs of slowing down, so I will say that if you like something in terms of, let's say, a big purchase like a house, then you should go for it, uh, because these tariffs are here to stay. So they are not, I think, going to just go away now. So the amounts might differ a little bit. So certainly the cost of labor has gone up, cost of building has gone up, so it's going to continue to increase too. So it's going to be very, very less likely that things are going to go down drastically. If at all, there might be a little bit of a blip, but I think just waiting for that is not very prudent. Now, in terms of automobiles and all, there are some, I think if you're in the market for, let's say, an electric car, then some of the incentives which were there are expiring, I think, end of this month. So we will see a slowdown in the electric car sales probably in October, November, because there will be a shock of that credit taken away. So, but in September, I think we might see a considerable sales for the at least the electric cars. Now, for the others which are impacted by tariffs, I think you need to just watch out on the prices and see whether it makes sense to buy it now or maybe just wait for a couple of months and see if there are any good opportunity in the last quarter of this year.
Great. Thank you for that advice there and suggestions. Dr. Gallery, this next question, you really just touched on this, I think, on your final couple slides, but maybe just expanding a little bit. How do you come to an effective conclusion about what consumers want when doing a market analysis? So you talked a little bit about eye contact, emotional tone, etc. Just maybe expand a little more on this.
Yeah, so here, if we show people different images of different products and different taglines, then we see where they are more likely to concentrate on that. And then coupled with that, we do ask them a question in a survey format. So we certainly measure where they are looking, we measure their emotional response, we measure their facial expressions, voice analysis, if that's a part of the thing. And we also ask them a complimentary survey about like what product or thing you're likely to choose. So it's a combination of things which we use to get to like some kind of a definitive conclusion that this is what people are more likely to choose or focus their attention on. So if the page is very crowded, like we did some website testing for some companies in the hospitality space, and we showed some consumers, like real consumers, their product website page, and then we showed them the competitors, and then we could see like clearly the focal company had a lot of catching up to do compared to the competitor, and the intention to purchase in terms of click to pay was higher for the competitor as compared to the focus. So we have a combination of things, looking at the screen, the eyes, the emotions, as well as the survey that we use to get the response. And
Excellent. Thank you.
if anybody wants more information, then I think they can reach out, and Professor Kim, who's dealing with the lab studies, will be able to happily answer and give a demo of the lab also to them.
Perfect. Thank you so much for that. Dr. Gowrie, this next question. Regarding the retail market, how effective of an indicator is the economy as a whole?
This is a tough one. So certainly the consumer sentiments, play a big role, and University of Michigan has this consumer sentiment index that they, I think, put it out there every month or so. So people are certainly skeptical these days because of high prices, and I have experienced this. I'm sure everybody who's on the call has experienced it also, that you go on a grocery shopping trip these days. Nothing is cheap anywhere, and then you can see that's why discounters like Costco or club stores like Costco, and then discounters like Aldi and Trader Joe's and other places which provide a lot more value for the money are seeing an increase in their traffic, whereas like some of these other high-end stores might not be seeing as much regular traffic. So certainly like the sentiment that we see has an impact on our purchases. And if, like, at this point, the economy is not flashing any kind of a big recessionary sign, all estimates are there's like 20 to 30% chance, which is not like traditionally being very, very high. But prices being very high, people are, I think, cutting back on their major purchases and spending or trading down in some way or the other. Like instead of buying a really high quality product, so they're going for the medium versions.
Excellent, thank you. Dr. Gowrie, this next question here kind of goes to that online shopping versus in person. So do you see that the likelihood that brick and mortar retail will likely continue to be a mainstay for certain product categories?
Yeah, so I think brick and mortar is not going away anytime soon. Now, certainly some products where we touch and feel and we want to look at, so we need to go to the store to like basically try it out and then get it. And no matter how this new technology is, when I asked this thing I yesterday only asked people, have you tried like augmented reality apps and all? And I asked it to like seniors who are, let's say, around 20 to 21 years old. uh, Many of them had not tried any virtual reality app. So I was a little surprised, but I think people will still want to go to the store for things that they touch and feel, and they would like to try it out or they want it right away. But for certain other things, like I think online is a good mechanism. Certainly, like items are now being delivered much faster and quicker. It used to be multiple days. Now it is one day or less. I guess it is coming to that point where items would be delivered if you order now, and it will be there maybe later today or tomorrow maximum at your doorstep. Um, so like, but some items certainly I will go personally to the store to shop. I'm not much of a online shopper. I want to go, I want to get it, and then possibly return it. Also, if I don't need the item. So sometimes it has happened where I have bought the products online, and companies like Amazon, they just don't want to return them. They just say keep the product and keep the money. So which is not something that like I would like to do. If I'm not using the product, then what will I do? I will have to throw away the product. Instead of these like physical retailers, I can go there and return the product because that's not the problem that they face. Amazon certainly is giving a lot more convenience, but at the same time, it's actually increasing quite a bit of waste in the system too.
Excellent. Thank you so much, Dr. Gowrie. I know we're coming close to the top of the hour, so I want to take a moment to just thank you on behalf of the Office of Alumni Engagement and the UB School of Management, again, for sharing your time, your knowledge, and your expertise with us today. As a reminder, we have recorded today's session. You all are going to receive a copy within the next 24 hours, but you can also visit our website as well to view any of our webinars that we have held previously, and also view our upcoming slate of fall webinars. You'll see now through December, even into the new year a little bit, posted on our website. But I do want to turn it over to Dr. Gowrie for closing remarks or anything you'd like to leave us with today.
Yeah, no, thank you again, like Christy, thank you, Joy. I think it was good to do this. I think retail and shopping and online physical store is something which is of my interest for sure. I've done various research on different topics in this area. I would like to interact more with many of you who would like to, let's say, know more about the center or get involved in some way or the other. And certainly just to discuss and catch on things. I'm also an alumni, as Christy mentioned, so I would certainly like to be in touch with as many of you as possible.
Fantastic. Thank you so much, Dr. Gowrie. And the contact information is on the final slide. We'll make sure you also get that too in the email tomorrow. But again, thank you so much, Dr. Gowrie. Thank you all for joining us. Take care, stay well, enjoy the rest of your day, and go Bulls. Thanks all.
Okay, bye.